Welcome back, V.O.C. YouTube channel. This week I'm just going to really talk about one game, the Alabama-Georgia game, a little bit, and kind of moving forward what, is going to be the state of Alabama-Georgia football after that game. And then I'm just going to talk about my picks. Short, sweet, quick video. Let's jump into it.
Third down
Looking at Alabama-Georgia last week, look, I told you I was high on Alabama. I thought as of right now they're the better team than Georgia. They're kind of more complete. Alabama gets out to a big lead, kind of has momentum. Georgia fights their way back into it a little bit, makes it a game. Look, not surprised at all. Jalen Milroe right now I would say is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. That's just what I would say. That is just looking at it right now. He has grown so much from last year, where early in the year last year he gets benched, and then he picks it up and figures it out. He's playing very good football. Kalen DeBoer has really helped his development. Georgia, they have a lot of things to figure out. I think defensively more than anything. And Kirby Smart's going to get that done. I told you that at this state, I liked Bama. I think the interesting thing, though, is now everybody's like, well, Bama's not going to stop, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing with Alabama moving forward with Kalen DeBoer. You got to remember, a lot of these guys that are on the roster right now are Nick Saban guys. So moving forward, these next 2, maybe 3 years for Kalen DeBoer are going to be really easy. And then we move on to when he has to recruit. He has to develop these players, right? Like Jalen Milroe was already there. Ryan Williams, hell of a wide receiver. Kid could probably go pro right now. He had to keep him and recruit him to come back to Alabama because it was a little iffy when Nick Saban retired if he'd come. That kid is legit. He's dynamite. He fits into what they do, and what they want to do. But that's my take on it is, yeah, okay, Alabama, boom, they win. Number 1 team in the country. I think they should be. Jalen Milroe, front runner for Heisman. But it's more of like, what's Alabama going to be in a couple years, right? So it looks really good right now for Alabama. But it's one of those things where it's like, Kalen DeBoer's kind of playing with house money right now. Not saying that he's not going to do well, and not saying he's not going to recruit well and develop well. But it's interesting to look at that game and move on from it and go, well, okay. Alabama's not going to ever stop. Well, right now they're not, but it was just interesting to watch. But I think towards the end of the year, I think Georgia's going to figure it out. They could easily, meet again in the SEC championship game. But it played out just exactly how I thought it was going to. I just thought it was very interesting that, Alabama is continuing to roll. And, I thought they were going to be 9-3, but the development of Jalen Milroe has helped the most. And if he can continue to play the way he's playing, Alabama's got a shot at winning the whole thing. It's crazy to think that, the best coach in college football history retires, they reload with another coach, and they're like, yep, we can just go win, it doesn't matter. It's crazy, but both teams have a lot to work on, but just the way Alabama came out and played, it was very interesting to see. And, Kirby really has struggled against Alabama, even with Nick Saban and now without. All right, moving on to my picks this week. I went 4-1 last week. Feel really good about it. Had some picks that, were, some people probably wouldn't have agreed with like Alabama, Notre Dame. But, look, I'm feeling it. Let's see if we can keep it up. All right, I got 4 games this week. Number 9, Mizzou, 4-0. At number 25, Texas A&M. Texas A&M 4-1, minus 2.5 points. I think this is easy. I think Mizzou's going to win this game outright. I get that they're going into Texas A&M. I like Mizzou. They have the firepower, the offense. I like what they have. They've not looked the best this year, but I believe that they can go into Texas A&M and beat them. This is an interesting game. I think if we looked at the beginning of the season, this was going to be like a playoff potential get-in game. Number 15, Clemson, 3-1 at Florida State. Florida State's 1-4. Clemson is a 14.5-point favorite. DJU's out. It's a night game at Florida State. I think this game is going to be closer than the experts think. I think Florida State covers. I think it's going to be gritty. I think without DJU, this team's going to play a little different for Florida State. Clemson's going to win the game, but if this game is a 10-pointer at the end of it, I'm not going to be shocked. So that's like my big thing this week is Florida State to cover the 14.5. All right, this is a sneaky, quiet game, and this is an ACC game now. SMU 4-1 at number 22 Louisville, who's 3-1, coming off the loss to Notre Dame. They're a 6.5-point favorite this week. I seen Louisville up in person last week. They were physical. They made some great plays on offense. They're explosive. They can keep themselves in games. Their quarterback made hell of throws. Very good football team. SMU's very good as well. They're having this crazy, renaissance of a program. It feels really good. 6.5 to me, I think it's about right. I think Louisville wins by at least a touchdown. I think they'll cover, just from watching them last week and kind of how, they were kind of down and out in the first quarter against Notre Dame, but continued to fight, continued to stay in it, and they were explosive enough, and that's what really helped them stay in that game, lose, but I think it's going to help them this week against SMU. All right, number 10, Michigan, 4-1 at Washington, who is 3-2. Washington's 1.5-point favorite. I don't get this line. I like Michigan. I like Michigan to win outright. This is a national championship rematch. Far different teams for both programs than what we saw in the national championship. But I just like Michigan. I know what their identity is. Washington's still trying to figure out with Jed Fish and the changes, players, the environment. It's all different. This is 7:30 in Seattle. I get all that, but I know what Michigan is. You give me them as the underdog, I'm going to easily take it. They're going to play great defense, and they're going to run the football. It's going to work. I think they're going to win. So hopefully we continue on the winning ways. I'm feeling it. I think these picks are pretty simple. This week in college football, pretty bland. Next week is where it really ramps up. We get some great games back. So excited for that. Thanks for watching.